Good afternoon. Welcome to Working with Me. This is where I live stream some of my day job. Um, Putting together just information for our weekly newsletter for our communities. If you are interested in joining that community, that is our Beacon DeFi community. We have our mastermind as well as our Total Value Locked free community. If you want to check it out, look around, see if you might like it, please feel free to head out to school.com/beacon. Would love to have you there and learn more about what we do, which is getting the best intro into becoming a competent investor in decentralized finance, which is basically blockchain investing for those of you who are unfamiliar with how that all works. So, anyway, I don't have chat set up specifically. Although if you have comments, you can, I think on Twitter. Yeah, Twitter for sure. I will have the chats open for both retake and abstract. But feel free to join me on abstract there or retake.tv, of course. You can just find me on the front page. This stream is powered by X co-host. Thank you to them for having me in their creator cohort. It's opened a lot of amazing opportunities for me and my personal brand. But of course, if you want to join the mothership, that is at Beacon DeFi school.com, skol.com/beacon. If you want to join a free group, learn more about decentralized finance and figure out, uh, you know, having your crypto and digital assets work for you. That's all it's about. We're not a trading company or anything like that. Hundreds of those, thousands of those. We're here specifically. Um, Question from Frank Ocean in retake. Sorry, sir, not reaction streams today. Maybe later on. Um, I'll see. Monday's a pretty brutal day for me. I have a ton of meetings today, so we shall see. But maybe later on. Maybe later on. If I do, I'll mention it. I appreciate you asking. I'm glad you enjoyed that. If you did watch, it's a lot of fun. I enjoy doing React content. So one thing I want to do actually is clip queue, kind of like what Twitch streamers do. I would love to react to material that's here in the crypto and DeFi space. I'm still trying to figure out the best way to take clips of those. So if you happen to have a clip of something you want for me to watch, feel free to reach out to me. You can do that, if you follow me on Twitter, which is at C Soriano. You just send me a DM. I will queue them up, and we'll take a look at them probably next week at this time. So we're actually on an hour earlier than we normally are because I do have an extra couple of business meetings today. So business is definitely looking good and picking up. So um, just wanted to do that. If you, I am opening myself up personally for specific consultations. So, in the event that you are a protocol or a blockchain or a business looking for someone who's been in these streets for the last 5 years and are looking for a good DeFi knowledge resource, please feel free to reach out to me. Happy to work with you. Okay, and my children are watching. Hello, girls. I should watch my language then. All right, so let's get to what we do here. We look at articles that are in my aggregations. I have multiple ways that I aggregate. I do have a bot that I've coded to get me a lot of stuff off of like Twitter as well as Telegram, a lot of other specific places that I aggregate from, like certain Substacks. But on this stream, we generally just look at my Feedly feed, which is an RSS syndication feed of quite a few things. Then we'll look at the DeFi Llama feed as well. Okay, so let me grab that screen. We'll get going. Hopefully everyone has had a great weekend. I'm kind of wrestling with the idea of streaming on Pump.fun and Haven't quite figured out if I want to do it, to be quite honest. Let me resize this. And the reason being is there's just an element to pump.fun that frankly is a little alarming. Not that I'm okay, not that I can't take criticism, because I do that every day of my life. Um, it's just more like the chat. Like I watched an older gentleman, Gramps. If you checked out Gramps' coin, shout out to Gramps for being like, I think he was like 69 years old. Like, no, okay, no memeing there. He actually is, and he was going through and actually trying to trade some meme coins, and I think he did okay. But man, just some of these things that people put in the chat are just stupid. And granted, I guess I should have realized that. So maybe I probably will. I was on the fence about it because I was like, eh. And then they went and because there's things you have to. I mean, I'm not gonna buy Dex Screener for my creator coin, honestly. But you know, anyway, still on the fence, still trying to figure out if I want to do it. Anyway, let's get to the news. So, not a ton of news, honestly, outside of what's been going on. The market is obviously going in a different direction than we would like. The biggest news, in my opinion, from today is what came out of Base at Basecamp. That's actually the photo of what I had specifically for the stream on Retag, at least for the cover photo, because there's a couple things that got announced today that were quite shocking to me personally. The first is then we'll talk about it right here. It's the two-way bridge from Base to Solana. Let me pull up a different. Let's just see if I can just do this here. I'm using Sigma OS for my research stuff. Yeah, whatever. We'll just go here. And this is big news. Mainly obviously for Solana. I mean, you could bridge easily between there already through dBridge. Shout out to dBridge through Lie.fi. Shout out to them. There's a bunch of ways that you could already get to Base from Solana and vice versa. Gone are the days of 14-hour waits. Thanks, Wormhole, for that. I often tell this story because I was unable to bridge my money over to get into the Mad Lads Mint. Thank you, Wormhole, for that, because it was stuck in the bridge for 14 hours. Not bitter. Not bitter. I've let it go. It is what it is. Anyway, the ability for app creators, specifically mini apps, which is going to be in the Base app. And remember, there's 1.1, I think it's like 1.1 million on the wait list for Base's app, the mobile app version. There's a wait list for that. So imagine all of the liquidity that's going to unlock specifically for developers, because they're going to be able to have access to tokens that are both ERC20 and SPL20. That's big, because it's going to bring more of this inner app coming together. Now, you could say that a lot of this is already in place thanks to JupeNet, with Jupiter having that handshake now with Fluid from Instadap. So they have cross-chain lending already in there, which is still in beta. But you can say this is all none of this is shocking, to be honest. But glad to see that they've opened up the doors on both ends for this. They realize they're going to need each other in a way, right? This is not like one's going to live and one's going to die. In order for all this to work, they need each other, because they're home to two of the biggest moats for normies coming into this space moving forward. Base, obviously, with the Coinbase app, and Solana with Jupiter building their tremendous moat to be a one-stop shop, bringing people in. So yeah, I'm curious to see how Jupiter moves with this. That's going to be an interesting path forward for them, but I think they'll be fine. Also from today's base camp, which is in upstate Vermont, beautiful area. I think it's around. I think it's in Stowe. I wish I could have gone, frankly. Aerodrome is looking to put out a token launcher. So a launchpad. Now the Syndicate IO thing right now is I think is going to be the main test for this, but I'll be very interested to see what happens with the ability for projects to just have a launchpad directly on um, Aerodrome. We'll see what happens. Oh, and the other big news. The other big news is that they're exploring a network token. Now, this is murky water for them, right? They wouldn't have done this. Let's see if it's here. Yeah, right there. Honestly, they wouldn't have done this if it wasn't a good environment for them to do so, right? They don't have to worry anymore about the SEC, with this current administration. That was probably the other big issue too. It's like in the event, because their Coinbase is layer 2, if they had a token, does that automatically make it a security? You can interpret the Howey test any way that you want. In Gary Gensler's SEC, they would have unequivocally said yes, just because they're just being that way. Didn't matter if it passed that, if it didn't even matter, if the Howey test didn't apply, it wouldn't have mattered. They just wanted to come after crypto, mainly from lobby pressure, bank lobbies. But now that we're in a different phase, and now we have all of these banks itching to get down into DeFi to get that token revenue from having a stable coin or just having their brand in Web3 and DeFi. This now makes a little bit of sense. The murky part is that, when Base first launched, because they're on the OP superchain, they have an obligation. Well, there was a little bit of an agreement signed where they were going to give either 25% of sequencer revenue or 15% of all Base transaction fees, whichever was greater, to OP, Optimism Mainnet. And if I'm not mistaken, this was like a 6-year deal, if I remember this correctly. They're in year 3 right now. So there's that bridge that they're going to have to deal with. And maybe they don't care, because Base is by far the largest L2 out there. They flipped Base. I mean, they flipped Arbitrum. They flipped Optimism. Left Optimism in the dust a long time ago, and they flipped Arbitrum not that long ago. If you go by DeFi Llama's numbers, so I mean, at this point, they're not even marketing themselves as an L2. They're marketing themselves as a decentralized network to help power the global economy. Can't talk today. Need more caffeine. Let's do that. I like this announcement. PayPal adding peer-to-peer payments. Bitcoin, ETH, and its own PYUSD stablecoin. I mean, that makes a lot of sense for what they're doing. Really? Okay, now this is interesting. Personal transfers between friends and family will remain exempt from the IRS 1099-K tax reporting rule. Who wants to be my friend? You can choose your family, right? I think you can. All right, MoonPay continuing to move on the M&A trail. They're doing really well. It's an acqui-hire for both Ali Agareza and Ben Mills. Congrats to you guys as Me Sep co-founders, now becoming a part of MoonPay as both the CTO and the senior VP of product. Yeah, because they bought HelioPay, however you want to call it, for 175 in January. That was the beginning. That was the big one. This was before, or was it right after Trump launched? I think it was right before. But they made a ton of money, a ton of money off the Trump meme coin. Okay, let's see. Oh, let me grab that one. That's one to put into the newsletter for sure. Let's fix that. Move down. Maple is expanding. Oh, they've created Syrup USDT on Plasma. Good for them. I mean, you have to KYC for Syrup, so take that for what it's worth. I mean, to me, it's more of an institutional focused product, or at least people with accredited status. It's definitely a good product for size. If you have size, makes sense. Ethereum Foundation starts new AI team to support agentic payments. That's the new DAI team. According to research scientist David, I hope that is French, Crapis, because Crapis is quite the last name. All right, I'll grab that off of Twitter later on. All right, anything interesting here? We talked about this a couple weeks ago on our TVL podcast, which is every Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Looks like they're going to get the fee switch going. So, I mean, if you're an ENA holder, full disclosure, I am an ENA holder. I DCA an ENA regularly. Yay. Hell yeah, brother. Bring that on. I'll take a fee switch. Why not? Thank you, Retake, for the love. Let me spell Retake there correctly. Support Retake. Support decentralized on-chain media. Let's see. Oh, people reacting to me wanting to stream on Pump.finance. Honestly, guys, it's just a money thing. I'll be honest. If everyone's making money on there, why would I not want to at least give one shot, right? I'm not looking to rug pull anybody, of course, but and I've been in this space a long time. I've been rugged multiple times. You know, it just happens. But I'm not out there to like completely pump a token and that type of thing. That's crime. Oh, shout out to Reward Coin. If you see them on Twitter, give them some love. They actually tipped me very nicely yesterday as part of their product. Helios. Uh-oh. What are you doing now, Mert? Ah. Oh ho ho ho. What's Mert doing here? Shout out to them. Getting money with Pantera and Summer Capital and all of these holding companies to build a PIPE, which is a private investment public equity vehicle. 1.25 billion over 3 years. Net proceeds will be used to acquire Sol. Good for them. I mean, there's at least 3 now that are doing this, and we have a Solana ETF coming, and Solana is getting closer and closer back to their all-time high above $300, which of course is good for us who hold Sol, like right here. If you hold Sol, let me know in the comments. Would love to know. Hey, Console. Good to see you, brother. one of my ex co-host homies there. Follow Mr. Console if you don't already. He's a good dude. That's big news. Big news. More of these DATCOs, guys, these digital asset treasury companies, they're coming more and more. We're going to see more of these. Now, what I will say about this, does it hold a little bit of a house of cards should something happen in this space? Yeah, actually it would. Because if you see one major treasury company go down, and there's already been a couple that have, thankfully a lot of they were smaller and they were absorbed into something else. There's a chance that if there's a terrible meltdown in crypto, it would cascade to all of these companies, creating a bit of a hard landing, and then the bull cycle is over, right? Yeah, that is something to look at. But we're in a situation between now and the end of next year, to be quite honest, we're going to see a huge renaissance for risk on assets. Why? I mean, we're about to get a rate cut on Wednesday, are we not? And I still think we get 50. I think we get 25 on Wednesday, 50 in November. I still think that I said that earlier this year. I still think we get there because magically numbers are getting revised. I don't know. It sure looks like we should, right? Because Chairman Powell's a data-driven guy, so the data really looks like it should happen. So yeah, that's going to power things into the early part of next year, where we're going to get ARC, the layer 1 from Circle. Plasma should probably have launched by then. Google's layer 1, that's more institution focused, should be out there. Tempo from Stripe, their layer 1. We're going to see a lot of blockchain launches, even maybe possibly Monad in Q1 2026. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see. We're going to get a lot of good news to take us into next year. And then Chairman Powell's term as chairman ends in May 2026. I can't think of any event on the planet that would cause him to get extended. That guy is out of here. And of course, President Trump is going to put in a guy that's going to listen to him to just snip to all the rates. Fed funds rate is going to go down in a hurry. And that's just going to cause everything to go crazy. With that said, there's only one thing I can think of that could really throw a wrench in all this, and it lies with you, Japan. If you know what the yen carry trade is, you can do your research on that. Okay. Ooh. This is the kind of stuff I like. American Express introduces blockchain-based travel stamps. ETH-based travel stamps to create a commemorative record. Oh, that's nice. So you get like special NFTs that are created based on your travels to places. They're soul bound. They're not tradable NFT tokens, meaning they're soul bound. And neither do they function like blockchain-based loyalty points, at least for the time being. Man, don't give me that. Of course they're going to do that. What I would love for this, Amex, is for you to allow priority Centurion Lounge access for having 2 or 3 of these in my wallet. That would be fantastic. That way you get people wanting to travel around the world, use your lounges. And to me, this reminds me of one thing, because for those of you who don't know, I'm a huge Japanese culture fan. And even though I've never been to Japan, it's on my list to do so. I've been studying Japanese for quite a few years now. One thing my wife and kids definitely want to do is get like one of those big stamp books, because you can go and get stamps from all kinds of places. This is, to me, very much in that same vein. So I'm Fireblocks is also involved as a wallet. Okay, that makes sense. There is the Centurion Lounge upgrade. We'll see. we're just all in the we're hearts and minds are aligned, Amex. That's what I like to see. Why CoinDesk? All right. Nvidia is China is saying that Nvidia violated antitrust laws. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. All right, buddies. Boundless. I did not catch this launch. Okay, cool. Verifiable compute. I will put that in. That's always good. Let's see. Yeah, so this was on my timeline as well. France says it may block crypto companies licensed in other EU countries. Sadly, that's kind of how MiCA works, right? Because it's such an EU spot. I mean, if we're looking at if you do it in DeFi, it's non-sovereign, so who cares? But on the outside, it may look like they're trying to put a little bit of pressure here on countries to stay within MiCA. But the U.S. may do some things to help alleviate that issue. So we'll see. Let's see. Galaxy Digital buys 306 million in Solana in one day. Oh, right. This is the partnership with Multicoin and Jump that they. Yeah, we reported on this 2 weeks ago. Suddenly, a pipe vehicle in Forward Industries, a little known medical device company that recently shifted its focus to. I mean, look at things like Inovia, right? Which is now Hyperion DeFi, which is part of the backers, the advisement team is part of the team that got Native Markets, the new stablecoin, um, which will be, I guess, USDH and Hyperliquid. I mean, Mert's not wrong. 3 to 4 billion in raises for pipes and SPACs and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, this is correct. A lot of this is supporting DeFi and Solana, which is great, right? That's what we want to see. Let's see. I don't think we need to report on this because we already have. Wait, they can do this because they did have a 51% attack. They wiped 117 transactions. I didn't even know they could do that. Hmm. That's interesting. I'm just gonna grab this because it's interesting. Um, Shout out to Hassan Shitu. Great name. Hmm. London Stock Exchange unveils blockchain-based platform for private funds. Interesting, considering they've banned a lot of things because they clearly want their own. Nothing special there. Okay, France. So yeah, this is for MiCA changes for the passporting. $2.4 million exploit on Shibarium. Does anyone use Shib's layer 2? I don't. Brother Anthony, good to hear you, bro. I'll be in your chair, I think, by before the end of the year, brother, just so you know. He cut my hair last time I was in town, right before I was going on camera. So appreciate you, Anthony. Okay, so yeah, I mean, we don't talk about Shibarium in our group. I've never used it. I've never bridged over. I've met multiple people at places like ETH Denver, permissionless, who are just like, let's talk about Doge, let's talk about Doge and Shibarium, and I've yet to hear from them. So if anybody's got access to the team at Shib, let me know. Would love to have them on one of our panels sometime to really just talk about Shibarium and why you should be putting money over there. For our group, we're not a trading group. We're a DeFi group, meaning we care about yield. So we're going to go where yield is because that's what we work for with our community. So if you know of a great place that has yield, volume and yield, let me know. Really, there's a Maker Sky conversion deadline this week. Oh wow, this is quite the packed. Thank you, Francisco Rodriguez, for this. This is very packed. All right, Maverick launches on Thursday. I have heard of Maverick. I haven't really looked deeply into it, but I'm sure there's a ton of Cato yappers that will tell me all about it. Macro news, token events. Mantle DAO is looking to look at the budget, giving it 52 million USDC and 200 million native Mantle. My goodness, tomorrow at 12, Kava, talk to me. AMA session for them. Swissborg, they're going to make a live announcement. That'll be very interesting. I'm curious to see what they're going to talk about next Tuesday. Big unlocks. Oh, Velo unlocks 13%. That's a big one. Oh, so Thursday is the deadline to convert your old Maker to the new Sky Money. My guess is they're not going to go back to Maker. Oh, RSR is doing a token burn. Good for them on the 20th. I haven't had RSR in a little bit. I almost said a long number, but I'm not going to. Let me grab this because this is good stuff to just keep on the mind. Thank you to Francisco Rodriguez and his team for putting all of that together because I don't have time for that. That's why you're watching this stream because you ain't got time for that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, we're in a situation where we're going to see a lot of profit taking, right? We're going to see a ton of profit taking, whether it be ETH, whether it be Bitcoin, but all of these treasury companies are waiting for people to sell. Make no mistake about it. All of this stuff will be absorbed. So, if you're getting caught in liquidation cascades, don't do it. I guess, because this is all. I mean, looking at like the bull market support band and things that we talk about within our mastermind group, this is all playing out exactly the way we thought it would. To be quite honest, so nothing crazy here, in my opinion. Tether launching another stablecoin. Oh no, Yala. Yeesh. I did not really go deep into Yala. That is a BT side, a platform. I believe they're initially on. They started on Solana. Yeah, Solana. With their BTC backed or collateralized stable. Yeah, that's 7.7 million. Ouch. Hopefully they're able to make that team make all of that whole. We'll see. Thailand citizens are waking up to frozen bank accounts. Yes, that can happen. I mean, that can also happen in crypto. Just so you guys know, if you have a centralized coin, like the top two, um, like several of the top 10, they can program that stuff. It is what it is. Native Markets wins the race for USDH. That's something we've talked about. See, Arthur thinks the way that I do. Does he have a new article out? Oh, it's just an interview that he had with Kyle Chassis. Sorry, Chassis. All right, we'll keep moving on. We're back in the 1 day. Once we reach 3 day, that's pretty much it because there really wasn't a whole lot over the weekend. Um, yeah, we talked about this on TVL. Perps are available in Ravi Wallet. I haven't heard from it. If this is the same Butter Finance that was on Mantle, I haven't heard from them in a million years. Yeah, I'll save that one up. Last week in DeFi. Support today in DeFi if you don't. The intersection of DeFi and AI calls for transparent security. Jason Jiang. I mean, you're not wrong, brother. Okay, so he's talking about DeFi with AI, DEFAI. That DeFi. Got it. Holding on to that one. Alex Thorne from Galaxy Digital believes that the US will form their SBR this year. You notice how they haven't talked about this? They haven't talked about this in a minute. Where are they getting this number from? I mean, they've already said, and again, this could change, that they weren't going to be buying actual Bitcoin. I mean, as a taxpayer, would you be pissed if the US government bought BTC with your tax money? Let me know in the comments. Or would you rather them buy, pay defense contractors for gold toilets and shit like that? Kalshi got a big boost. Trying to remember exactly what it was, but they're now live. They're good to go, just like Polymarket is. So I think Myriad Markets and Drift definitely need to consider scaling up for that. Yeah, Polymarket is literally turning. Well, I mean, they're really just turning the corner after a year in just straight bliss. We'll call it that. Um, Possibly 9 billion. We'll see if they do a token. A lot of people think that they will. Polymarket partners with Chainlink. Okay, this is news. Yeah, they were trying to raise like 1 million, and now they're looking at 10 billion, from what I've heard. So this is how quickly times can change. Good that they're using Chainlink to settle the bets. Wait, there's a spot ETF live now for XRP? Oh right, the Rex Osprey. Right, correct. That launched on Friday. With Gumi, we talked about this as well. 17 million XRP. Wow, the product actually holds actual XRP tokens in custody rather than derivatives. Good for them. I'm assuming they're just going to keep buying more and more and more and more and more. This is starting to look more interesting. All right, we'll talk about that as well. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, we just talked about this, right? With digital asset treasury companies, um, it's going to be an interesting road. I mean, if let's say that you're a holder in Inovia or now Hyperion DeFi, and they make optical equipment, and something happens and Hype drops to $30, and their stock loses an ornament and quite a loss in value. I mean, dude, you got to answer to your shareholders, guys. That's why you do these. That's why you do these, special vehicles, whether they're pipes or SPACs or whatever. Okay, here is the USAT stablecoin, and this is why Bo Hines left the Trump administration. The crazy part about this is the amount of money that Bo Hines is going to make, because Tether made like what, nearly $5 billion in Q2, and they have like 16 employees. One of these days, guys, one of these days, maybe I'll get a position like this. Maybe. Hopefully I live to see that day. Yeah, that's big news. We'll pop that in. Congrats to Bo Hines, of course. So this will be Genius compliant. Oh, it's issued by Anchorage. Oh. Anchorage, of course, is part of the Global Dollar Consortium from Paxos, and they're USDG stablecoin. So, yeah, I guess you can have your hand in multiple cookie jars in this economy, right? I think this makes a lot more sense. I personally would have preferred to see USDT in the US markets, but I get why. Y'all see why? H bar continues to go up. Okay, good. We're at 3 days. That's normally the part where, yeah. Gemini IPO'd. Yeah, we can talk about that for sure. Congrats to them. They rang the bell, I believe, on Friday. Or was it Thursday? The Winklevi are well, they're certainly aging well. Good for them. Sure, they do all the longevity hacks. I mean, how could you not? Let's see. The IPO was 20 times oversubscribed. Well, if you think they're going to do well, I suppose, good for you. I have no comment on it. I'm indifferent. I just think you should just buy Bitcoin. Okay, Athena withdrew their bid. Ugh. JP. I remember him talking about this. Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that North Korean hackers utilized Thorchain to wash the majority of the stuff that they grabbed, right? Yeah, I mean, good for him. His multi-sig wallet, now he has a multi-sig wallet called Multisig, which he created. Works really well. This is the reason why you want to use a multi-sig wallet for a lot of, special things, or like friends, defenders, who we had on our Twitter space not that long ago. I need to reach out to Steve from Defenders, by the way. Another good open, built out in the open type of vault where you can keep stuff. Be careful out there, guys. I mean, I'll be very honest. I get meetings like this all the time, and I'm still trying to figure out how to mitigate most of them. I mean, it's sad, right? Because I'm here to educate people. I'm not here to. I'm here to educate people. I'm not going to talk badly about anybody else. Um, and people trying to take advantage of that good nature is what really makes me just it's gross, bro. Don't do that. All right, let's head down to Google News. G News. Oh, that's a K-pop Demon Hunters reference. All right. Nothing crazy here. Nothing crazy here. I've already got this. When John Egan leaves Stripe to go join Polygon Labs as chief product officer, which is a big move. Good for him. That's bullish for Sandeep Naliwal and the rest of the group. Looking to bring Polygon to the next level, and hopefully they can turn a corner with John Egan as head of product. So bullish move. Good for them. Good for him. Hopefully he goes. Be watching with great interest, as Emperor Palpatine would say. We already talked about Ford Industries. Illinois enacts crypto law. What is that crypto law? I'm curious. The DACPA Act, which establishes a state-level regulatory framework for centralized crypto exchanges that have customers and certain other digital asset businesses operating. Okay, so it'll be state rec. So if you happen to have your business in the state of Illinois and you are a digital asset or crypto business, you're going to have to abide by these laws. New York already has the bit license. California's starts, was it this year, in July? Or is it next year? One of the two. Wow, the Trump administration is letting crypto bros write federal policy. Illinois is implementing common sense protections for investors and consumers. I'm assuming that you're going to have to pay buku taxes here. Persons conducting digital asset business activity in Illinois or wherever located who engage in or hold themselves out as engaging in activity for or with an Illinois resident must what is that? Oh, if they are. How are they going to know? First of all, I guess if you KYC, right? So this means that, does this mean that Coinbase has to apply for has to register with the IDFPR by July of 2027? Okay. Got it. I mean, it's something worth talking about. Do we see more states do this? I don't know, frankly. I don't know. I think Texas, maybe Texas, maybe Missouri. I mean, they're pretty much safe havens at the moment, specifically Missouri, because they now have capital zero gains tax on crypto and real estate. So, which is retroactive to the beginning of this year, by the way. So, something to consider if you're trying to figure out where to move. Not moving to Illinois, I can tell you that much. Interesting. Interesting. All right, let's move on to DeFi Llama. Do we not have that? Hmm? All right. So, news, I think we've pretty much. Oh, H bar's tumbling. Dogecoin with an ETF. Interesting. Robinhood has a new VC fund. We've already talked about the PayPal thing. MetaMask's MUSD stablecoin's now live. That's news. We've already talked about the Solana-based bridge. Oh, my bad. That wasn't Helios. This is Helios Medical Technologies. That's not Mertz. So they're the publicly traded. 250%. Man, look at that. Lido GGV is out. That's their vehicle for their new blue chip strategies. Really? Polkadot is going to tighten their tokenomics and capping the DOT supply at 2.1 billion. Okay. That's a block article we'll have to look at. Here's a CZ move. The crypto regulator in Pakistan invites crypto firms to get licensed to serve more than 40 million local users. Maybe we should register Beacon there to get 40 million new customers. Thank you, Pakistan. Yeah, this is not good. I met them in Vegas at Bitcoin 2025. Leave that there. Hopefully they can make people whole. Clearly 2 days ago when they're talking about ETH breaking 4,700. Now we'll see what happens. Do one more quick refresh here of our articles. Bitmine immersion. They are a third of the way to getting to owning 5% of ETH circulating supply, which is no easy task. The fellowship pack launches with 100 million for any pro crypto candidate. It's very white. That's a very White House font. Stellar also going down with regards to HBAR going down. So ISO 222 tokens, man. What's going on here? All right. Well, that's all that we really have. Things I'll talk about real quick. I'm doing an interview with Justin Gary, the co-founder and co-creator of SoulForge Fusion. So if you like TCGs or turn-based card games, this is a game that we're playing with our community. We're working on getting our first community game off the ground. So basically, you just go and you get free decks just for doing the campaign. You can certainly buy more if you want to build a better deck. This is both a digital and tabletop game. If you buy anything from them, I believe there are NFT codes you can scan to bring that pack into the actual game you play online. And they have a really great Kickstarter campaign or crowdfunding campaign. I shouldn't say Kickstarter. Anyway, I am going to be interviewing. He's our featured panelist this Wednesday on our Wednesday flagship podcast that we've done every week since December 2021. That's our Beacon DeFi Total Value Locked or TVL podcast. This has actually been really fun, to be honest, to play this game. I've had a good time. My decks are not the most amazing, but I'm happy with what I have. Looking to build on that. My co-founder Andrew is really looking to sweep the next event or tournament we have. But we are going to have tournaments that are going to have prizes of actual money of SFG token, which is available on both Solana and Base blockchains. If you are curious, please join our free community if you want to join us. And that's a Total Value Locked. That is school.com/beacon. Feel free to join. There is a post there in the community about SolForge Fusion. Go ahead and download the game. It is on Steam. You can play it on both Mac and PC. To go through, there is quite. It takes about an hour, honestly, to get through the first campaign portion to where you can actually then have your decks. And if you get that far, you want to continue, let me know. I do have some booster pack codes to give away to our community. So learn a little bit of DeFi, learn a little bit about SolForge Fusion. Again, great game, really enjoying it so far. Justin Gary will be our featured panelist on Wednesday. He has a great book that he's written specifically about the lore here, as well as he's also, if not him, the other co-founder is co-creator of Magic the Gathering. So if you like Hearthstone, if you like Gwent and multiple others, Pokemon TCG, for example, even Vibes TCG from Pudgy Penguins. These are all fairly similar in the same package. I like the lore of the game. It's pretty fun. Again, SolForge Fusion, if you want to check it out. Great game. Really enjoy their content partnering with us, and we're excited to, create a fun way to interact with our community. So again, if you want to check that out, let me know. Also, please feel follow me on Twitter at C Soriano. This is, of course, powered by X Co-host. Thanks to them for putting me in their Creator Cohort Academy. Had a really good time, really great people. It was because of X Co-host that I was able to learn and talk to the people here at X. Talking to them was a side. What's the word I'm looking for? A result of my time with X Co-host, and I'll be continuing to move on with them. So it's been a really good time, and yeah. That's all I have today. Again, this is my Work With Me stream. This is where I do research and give you some commentary about how I feel about things in the DeFi space. If there's anything you'd like for me to talk about, any questions you'd like for me to answer, feel free to put it into the comments. Feel free to reach out to me. Happy to answer any questions that you have. I do have a new article I just put out that I would love for you to check out. And it's something that I get asked about all the time. And that is, what is a Web3 wallet? So again, this is on my Twitter, little article I wrote on what is a Web3 wallet. Feel free to check it out. It's gotten some pretty decent traction so far. If you know anybody who doesn't know what a Web3 wallet, whether it's a hardware wallet or a software wallet, and why you need one, please feel free to send it. It actually, there's a couple of things in there that are huge myth debunks that a lot of people think about when you think about wallets. Biggest one being that it doesn't actually store any of your tokens. A lot of people think that their money is stuck inside this stuff. No, it's not. It's all on the blockchain. So there you go. Again, we do this stream. Normally it's at 2 p.m. Eastern. I had to bump it up an hour ahead because I have some meetings today. Some extra meetings. So thanks for joining me for today. I probably will be doing a reaction stream later. That was actually very popular. I did that yesterday. I had a late lunch. I was out with the kids for quite a bit, doing some stuff with them over the weekend, being present dad. And I was like, you know what? I should just stream some of the stuff that I watch because, I think it's funny because I do sit here and eat and watch short form content and react to it. Now, I definitely want to do that for what I do, in this space in terms of crypto, in terms of decentralized finance, digital assets, all of that stuff. So if you find any investment things or anything like that, or crypto things you'd like for me to react to, even if it's like something as simple as this guy's pushing this narrative on, you should buy this or Pulse Chain or something, happy to react to it. just reach out with those clips and happy to check them through, because I would love to do that type of content here in this space. So anyway, with that said, peace out, Girl Scouts. Have a great day. Enjoy yourselves and get educated, because this is the future of finance.